meet again. Thanks for joining me here. I appreciate it. And, I wanted to say, I show up here on camera and it might give the impression that I have a great deal of security, that I'm able to do, show up and show my face and show my unadulterated face and, risk saying the wrong thing or whatever it is. I'm not horribly secure. I'm not horribly insecure. I just show up. And I think that that is an act of courage in your lives as well. You just show up day after day, wake up, put your shoes on and do the best you can living your own life. I have a friend who made these t-shirts for a group of women who meet on a fairly regular basis. I mean, like once a year at least, and except during COVID. And all women are power women, says this t-shirt. And on the back it says power woman, I think. But the idea that, well, she's selling her house. Probably by next summer, no house, no place to sit down. We have a ritual of Power Women's Pork Fest, and even the vegetarians among us come and celebrate each other. And, we claimed this title, not because we feel invincible, but because somehow claiming your power is the beginning point. And there's a lot of laughter and festivity and humor at the irony of this. We put napkins on our head, we sing songs, and the challenge now is how to internalize that. When somebody sells the house, when you no longer have the physical place to come together, there's still this energy. And it's power men, it's power anybody. There are special men who, in fact, we made a rule a few years ago, men can come if they'll come in drag. I don't know why that's important, but a few have. It's special people, who have a certain ability to laugh at the whole idea of gender. All women are power women. All people are power women. There's a way in which we're all inhabiting divine feminine energy, which is enduring and grounded, since the beginning of time. The other thing that sort of stuck with me this morning was an incident where I was at a family reunion of my partner, and there were a lot of people there, a lot of, group kind of cocktail, it wasn't a cocktail party, but reunion chatter going on. And I was sitting down and I was fairly quiet, not my family, so I wasn't trying to take the floor or anything. And the brother of my partner was sitting there looking beat. He had some physical challenges that were really hard, as I happened to have had at that time as well. And he said, how are you doing? How's the writing going? It's something he knew about me, that I was a writer, and he was trying to connect. And I said, I'm just trying to get through the day. And it was right off the top of my head. It wasn't like a rehearsed thing, it was just true. I just was beat and I was sick and I was doing the best I could just to put my shoes on and walk my walk. And he was so relieved. Suddenly we were really connecting in the middle of this crime. I mean, other people I'm sure were too, on the basis of shared memories and history and reunion and, you know, talking about people who weren't there and so forth. But this guy and me were connecting on the basis of our shared humanity, that you know, we weren't putting on a front. I feel great, you know, the writing's going really well, even though it wasn't. And that mutual vulnerability is a real bond. You know, it's the people or the circumstance where you stop sort of faking it. And it made me remember also a situation with a guy where the relationship was falling apart. And I acknowledged that. And this is texty, you know, like, Jesus. So I acknowledged that. I just said, I feel it falling apart and it makes me sad. And his response was like, oh yeah, you know, it was good while it I mean, it was very flip. You know, I get it, let's go our own way. It was just flip. There was no vulnerability in it. And I'd spent years being nice and understanding and never saying anything challenging. And I wrote back in my text, that's a crock. That's a crock. I call bullshit. And I don't think it further weakened our bond. You know, I think it was acknowledging a truth that was hard, that there was a real disconnect, and I was calling him on something, and I didn't take great pleasure in it, but so there's something about the authentic, whether it's I'm just trying to get through the day, that kind of compassion for us as human beings trying to live our lives. But also the ability to say to somebody you love, who's your friend, who you want to reconnect with, when they are offering something phony, Power Woman energy says, say it, the real thing. And hope that they will call you out as well when you're offering up some line of bullshit to try to smooth things over, whatever it is. So, Four of Cups. That's regret for something that didn't show up in your life or in somebody's life. It's a connection that failed. And there's this cup being offered on high, you know, from the universe. And this person is sitting with arms crossed, like, that's not what I wanted. That's not the connection I wanted. And it might be what I said, that's a crock. Like, I mean, it could be he was telling me something true, and there was a refusal to hear it. La, 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 la. It did strike me as a missed opportunity to connect. Tower. Card of Scorpio. That cup's energy of water, of feelings. And something really collapsed. And this is a regret over that, but it's also kind of a harumph. You know, it's an attempt to look indifferent. And that was really the energy of this person's text to me, is I don't really care. You know, see ya. I don't really care. This connection is falling apart. I don't really care. You know, I'll acknowledge it. Too bad, too sad. Legit sad. This thing had an enormous impact. something that was inherently unstable coming down. You know, no more pretense in the realm of connection. And there's that little angel again. Like this was, you know, the collapse of this relationship was overseen by the divine. And whatever was going on, you know, this person fell, and it could be you, right out the window. Couldn't live there anymore. It was too small. It was too dangerous. It was suffocating. So somebody bailed. Somebody tapped out. And I think that maybe there are people in this person's life, all these guys here watching the event, who didn't understand why this happened. Couldn't process it. Had some stake in this, in a pretense of this setup or structure or arrangement. There was a pretense that everything was okay. But the building was on fire. After Tower, we have Seven of Swords. I mean, that's a no good situation. That's lies and deception. That's somebody calling bullshit. It's a little bit like, you know, you're tapping out. I don't care. That's fine. You know, it was all a lie anyway. But it's also the other person saying, that's a crock. I'm calling out the deception. This did matter. Somebody, I think, also escaped the tower. You know, they're sneaking away. It's a card of sabotage sometimes. Somebody may have been overwhelmed by their feelings and their feeling of disappointment. So they left a situation behind because they had to. You know, the universe kind of pushed the plunger on this situation and blew it up. And maybe blew up the lies. Like, that's a crock. Somebody says, that's a crock. Under Four of Cups, Knight of Cups. I'm seeing this as a card of moving on to some other connection, perhaps. Does it stop either people from offering love in the future? I don't think so. But there's going to be a recovery period. Because truths were spoken that may have sounded unkind. Nine of Wands under Tower. Wounded warrior again. Wounded warrior won't quit. Keeps reappearing. But that's also an attribute of the wounded warrior, is that they may be stuck in a pattern, but they keep trying. They won't quit. And it's almost like regrouping. There's the tower place in the background. They won't quit. They're not quitting on this love business. That's still what is their motivating force. I want to connect. Even after this thing that went down, which looks pretty bad. Somebody's still trying to get through the day. Knight of Wands. This is somebody on the board going in the other direction. You know, the Knight of Cups is trotting off one way. I'm looking for a connection. Knight of Wands is exiting the scene. Under Seven of Swords, a card of escapism and denial. You know, I'm out of here. I don't care. You know, I'll go off and find my passion and my pleasure somewhere else. Knight of Wands has a rep of being in and out of somebody's life. That's been the pattern, Nine of Wands. And I think the other person is saying, you know, I did everything I could, Wands energy. I hung in perhaps too long. But this person who's hung in too long is leaving with their heart intact. Despite, you know, on the level of Cups energy, some emotional breakdown or disaster. And one person escaped that by just bouncing. I don't care. It was all bullshit anyway, Seven of Swords, and I'm out. On Knight of Cups, Six of Coins, Six of Pentacles. You know, searching for reciprocal love, somebody who will give back. You know, somebody who is in it, you know, for real. A real Pentacles energy, a real energy exchange. Like, I love you, I'm showing it, I'm vulnerable, and you'll love me back. That's what this person is looking for. Strength. I think somebody handled things poorly. They walked away, they ran away, they left without explaining themselves. That was the only way they knew. They felt like this was the only way to break a pattern. Or they couldn't break the pattern of bouncing. You know, when the going got rough, this person bounced. Tell me about strength, because I think that's the one who's willing to keep their heart open. Or, yeah, I'm not sure. Tell us about strength, Four of Cups. You know, maybe overcoming an indifference. Overcoming, I don't care, you know. Pretending not to care. Wow, okay. On Four of Cups strength, we have a card of the Devil, Capricorn energy. This is a connection that weakens. This is the habitual stance based on fear and ego. Fear and ego. I don't care. You know, I'm shutting down my feelings. I'm stuck. I'm not moving. I'm in denial. We had a reading yesterday where somebody had come out of denial. They were no longer buying into some familial pattern of, let's not look at that. And I'm reminded again of this guy at the family reunion where we connected around, you know, not yippee, here we are again, but it was like, holy shit, here we are again. I'm just trying to get through the day. Nothing showy-offy. You know, I didn't say, you know, thank you for asking the writing. Even I didn't say, the writing's hard. I'm really challenged. I've got a block. I just... Death card. Something's over and transforming. You know, this is a very sudden and dramatic transformation. Both Scorpio energies. This is like kaboom. It's changed. Don't have to wait for it anymore. Something's done. Something's done, death card. But it's transforming. The cup's energy is transforming. And I think maybe something's transforming for the better. It's almost like the thing is dying, but there's help. There's angelic help in the recovery. And this can be addiction. So it might be a recovery from some sort of pattern, not necessarily a substance addiction, because there are all kinds of ways in which we can be addicted to something habitual in our lives, and it may be just, I didn't get what I want. It really hurt my ego. Somebody called bullshit, and it really actually was an ask for this other person to acknowledge their shadow self, the fact that they lie and they duck out, they tap out when it gets too hard, and in a way that's perhaps doing the other guy a favor, because they're able to get on with their own lives, with their own open heart, to give to somebody who wants to give back. Tell us about Nine of Wands. Is it this? Okay. Seven of Cups. I think it's trying again and again and again in the same way to resolve some kind of confusion. You know, this has got to make sense to me. I don't understand it. You know, I've tried and tried to understand the pattern. And the Cups energy person, Knight of Cups, is just moving on. And the Wands energy person is in Wounded Warrior energy. So they duck out. But when I asked about strength, Four of Cups, I got Devil, which could be overcoming this indifference. You know, I'm not, somebody was not looking at their role. You know, they were trying to say, I don't care, doesn't matter to me. That was an old pattern they were stuck in, and it was hurtful. Wounded Warrior energy. And it's like they were trying to sneak away. They were in denial, and they ran head on into some kind of ending, and I think it was this, that required them to, not to change their ways, but to have some kind of epiphany, because Tara can mean that too, about how they behaved. They suddenly can see and know, Sword energy, that this is their pattern. Tower, Ten of Cups. In that water energy, I think this was the potential, maybe, and it scared somebody. Devil energy, fear, they were afraid. They might have been afraid they couldn't do it. They couldn't make the grade. They couldn't meet this person. They didn't have it in them to to love somebody back in this way. They knew they were stuck. They knew they were in some kind of codependent ego place. So in the realm of feeling, something was over. Could have had it all. That Adele song, Rolling in the Deep. And I think there's an instruction here to, when the house is gone, when the group isn't there physically, to tap into what, the love that was given and received among us. When the person moves, when the structure isn't there anymore. When it's transformed. Tell us about the transformation, please, and the overcoming. The strength to change, maybe? Strength card, death? Because death is the transformation. It's the end of the old thing, the beginning of something new. Five of Swords. Fives require change. A situation that needs to change. And this is sort of like, I'm not playing this game anymore. Both parties may have felt like the other person was playing a game. I think one person felt like love is a game, or, I've got to keep my guard up. I'm stuck in a pattern where, I think it's always going to be like this, codependent and crappy, and I don't care. I'm out. There was an argument, and somebody was in denial about how much this was changing the situation. There was so much at stake. 10 of Cups. Tell me about 5 of Swords, please. The need to change this lying and fighting. King of Coins, King of Pentacles. Well, it's sort of like I'm not knocked off my pins by this. I'm stable, I'm real, I'm a giver, I'm authentic. But it's also like I won't, pour my energy, my time, and I won't acknowledge as valuable something that isn't. I'm off in search of love that's freely given and freely received. Four of Coins. Somebody holding back. And it may be the King of Pentacles holding back because they no longer want to invest in this kind of a situation. Is that right? Like they're giving up? I think both parties may be tapping out. And there's some regret. 4 of Cups. That the connection failed. It's Somebody may have hung up on somebody. 10 of Wands. Another card of it being over. 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands. You know, I think somebody tried every way. You know, tried again and again. 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. And they stopped trying. They stopped trying to get through the day. Or they stopped trying to bluff. What is this about? This 10 of Swords. I mean, unbelievable here. All these cycles closing out. And it's something like, we're done here. You're not going to hurt me anymore. Because this is a card of betrayal, can be. You know, I don't need this anymore. This has become, you know, I've been asked to be responsible for doing all the peddling. I think both parties tapped out. You know, just acknowledge. And in a way, it's like, I'm just trying to, it's the acknowledgement that this has been hard. Why holding back? Why this disconnect? Queen of Pentacles. Match for the King. Oh, I'm sorry, Queen of Cups. You know, this is the Knight of Cups person. I think who remains open-hearted despite a painful ending and like, I give up, I can't do anything. You've tapped out, so am I. There's nothing here to connect with. It mattered very much to this person. And I think maybe the epiphany was, this wasn't a stable enough situation, wasn't real enough, didn't matter enough to both people. So it was not sustainable. But I'm going to go on and find somebody that I can do this with in my real life. Somebody who will put in the work and the effort. Hermit. And it might be Queen of Cups is saying, if I have to do that by myself, you know, to stay, to maintain my integrity, my spiritual connection, my knowledge of what's real, that's what I'll do. Perhaps in the last few days of Virgo season. It's a card of withdrawal. It's sort of a card of tapping out. It's like that Fleetwood Mac song, You Can Go Your Own Way. You can call it Another Lonely Day. I'm not going to invest anymore, King of Coins, in a situation that doesn't matter to the other person. If they're holding back, if they won't give to this connection. And I think, again, this is a time of recovery, of extracting meaning out of this kind of shit show, coming out of confusion. Is this person resigning themselves to a single life? And resigning isn't right, but I'd rather be alone. than be co-opted by, you know, self-deception or the other person's deception. I'd rather see it all, you know, if my telling the truth about what I feel wrecks this, then so be it. King of Swords. This is a cold energy. It's air energy, but it's somebody who's aloof. Who's aloof. Who has a problem with expressing their feelings, talking about it, communicating about it. They're happy to analyze. And it might be hermit person saying, right, I'm going to tap out too. I'm going to take a step back. I don't think it's that, but yeah, Magician. I'll manifest something else in my life. You know, I'll bring through something real, something better. Card of Gemini, Virgo. I'll manifest a real connection. Something equal and, you know. Okay, one more. Queen of Coins. Remember, I thought Queen of Cups was Queen of Coins. There she is. He, she, they. This is the giver. I will manifest somebody who matches me. Not the one who holds back, who won't give or receive, who wants to argue and fight, who wants to lie and bullshit. I call bullshit. That's a crock. It's kind of harsh words for a Queen of Pentacles. But she's authentic. She's true to herself. King of Wands. And it could be that this other person who tapped out is going to overcome their tendency to give up, duck out. When the going gets tough, this person would head for the hills. They've acquired some kind of insight, some kind of epiphany. Judgment. It has to do with some kind of decision whether to accept a call to new life. I don't know if these two will be able to connect with each other beyond this point. But I think both parties will be stronger for it. King of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Coins. Because Knight of Wands, King of Wands, strength. This person is coming into their own. Maybe because the other person called bullshit. Said, this is a crock. What you're doing, you know, emotionally, I call bullshit. And it may have put this person in a new direction. Where they had the strength to acknowledge perhaps even their own cowardice. Yeah. Sun card, card of divine masculine. This is about truth, not truth telling so much as just revealing oneself, being open and honest. Owning it. Here I am. There's a second chance at happiness, at warmth. It's possible that this Knight of Wands person left the scene had to in order to tap into their own courage and strength. That they'd been getting support from this Queen of Cups person. They'd shown indifference to it. They'd been in shadow. They ducked out. They'd been in denial. And when this other person said, I call bullshit, that's a crock, they then really went into a period of transformation. What do I feel? Am I capable of this? Is it even what I want? And I think they decided, because this can be a big decision on the level of, as deep as it goes, that they want to feel, they want a second chance at happiness. And it might not be with Queen of Pentacles, but it might be because this person knows what they want. They know how to get it. And with this Queen of Cups person, it will entail telling the truth. Telling the truth. Manifesting hermit energy from a place of tapping into my own wisdom. And it's something about not all these folks watching this. I think there were friends or family members or something who saw this thing collapse and reinforced this other guy's attitude of, I don't care. There was a codependent group, I think, who were kind of dragging this person down. And I think that's no more. 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. I'm not sure these two will ever match up. But I think there's an opportunity to manifest, to bring into their lives both kinds of truth, spiritual wisdom and the ability to really look at something, sword energy, and understand it, to have an epiphany. I'm passionate about my own happiness. And perhaps I understand that there's a potential for new life and happiness with my Queen of Pentacles, with this authentic person. And I'm not sure whether these two are going to deal with each other again or just move on to find a more genuine match, King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, where you can be authentic, where nobody's lying or ducking out or feigning indifference. Nobody's holding back. Every relationship will have moments of that, for sure. But this is a second chance at something more genuine. Queen of Pentacles, Sun card. The Queen of Pentacles, by virtue of their authenticity, is going to draw in somebody who's as well authentic. Not the liar, not the one who ducks out. And it might be this person they've been dealing with all along. I just don't know. I think there's a caution here. Don't let anybody, who ducks out on you, take your power. Take your power back. Even when the house comes down. Find love in your life. It's there if you look for it. Don't give up on that. The fact that it's a second chance, a decision, this strikes me that it could be the same person. But boy, this relationship has been through it. And if it survives, I think it'll be, extremely strong. It'll involve compassion for the other person's for what they had to deal with in terms of their own shadow. We have on the board Scorpio in the Death card, Scorpio in Tower, Capricorn in the Devil. Somebody who's really been able to look at their own shadow energy. Strength card is Leo. Judgment is, I think some people think it's a Scorpio energy. I honestly don't know, but it speaks to me of the willingness to try again. Leo in the Sun card. Virgo, Gemini in Magician. Virgo again in the Hermit. Manifesting from a place that's authentic, that's spiritual, that's real, that's based on inner wisdom, based on some sort of epiphany about love. And something like what love can and cannot do. And I think somebody said, I can't do this. Is that all the major arcana? Yes, and that's the reading. Let's find the place where we can share and give and receive. I think we need to put an end to the painful situation. What no longer serves us. And we might be surprised by how that transforms somebody else. Maybe not in our relationship with them, but in the way they go forward in relationships in general. And possibly there's a possibility, and it may be slim, and it may only be for some small percentage of us, that it's actually the same person. Transformed to the point we might not even recognize them. Really, it's you? The one who bounced? The one who lied? There might be a period of is this a crock? I'll really have to stand back and look at it, King of Swords. Are you genuine? Are you the real McCoy? I don't think Queen of Cups will connect with people so readily again if they're holding back. There's a book called a guy named M. Scott Peck that's called The People of the Lie. And it's people who, roughly defined, are those who will quash their own growth and anybody else's in order to make the reality something they can live with. They'll bend it. They'll bend the truth, in order to stay stuck here. Break free of that. You're powerful. You're stronger than you know. Hang in there. Get through the day. You're with other people who are doing the exact same thing. I'll see you next time.